I am on the road in Luray, Virginia at Cooter's Place for the 25th anniversary of Cooter's Place. And on this episode, I'm going to talk to Canadian friends, Mike Phinney and Corey-Lin Stephenson, who drove this General Lee right behind me all the way from Canada to Luray, Virginia. This episode is brought to you by Griner Auto Body of Washington, Iowa, using state-of-the-art techniques and decades of experience to get your car back on the road after an accident. Car Doctor of Washington, Iowa, no matter who Frankensteined it, they can fix and clean and customize it. McDonald Boneyard of Keota, Iowa, for all of your farm equipment and auto recycling needs. Hinshaw Trailer Sales of Richland, Iowa. You need a trailer, they've got your trailer, and they fix what they sell and don't in their full-time repair shop. Girling Repair of Winfield, Iowa. If your mower is dead, call Fred, your Husqvarna, Aaron's, and Gravely dealer. B&B Propane and the family of Jet Stops. And Blue Dog Lawn Care of Wayland, Iowa, for all your residential and commercial lawn care needs. And when the snow starts flying, they can take care of that for you too. They all present Southeast Iowa today. I'm John Bain, author of Christie's Journey, The Beat Goes On, and your host. Let's talk to Mike and Corey-Lin. Mike and Corey-Lin, welcome to Southeast Iowa today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're quite welcome. You guys are from our neighbors to the north in Canada.
Yes.
And you are road warriors, the two of you. And you drove all the way to Luray, Virginia from Canada in your General Lee.
Yes, we did.
And always. You've been on the hazard run in the years past?
Several times.
Probably 3/4 of them.
I would say so, yeah. Bobby Scott, he knows about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobby has been a great ambassador for the Dukes of Hazzard all these years.
Missed him.
I did, yep, we did, and hopefully I'll catch him later and get him on here. You know, he loves to talk.
Oh, he does. He does. Yeah.
Well, you guys, there's so much to talk about with you, and let's talk about the General Lee in the room, so to speak. Let's get that out of the way first.
Sure.
This thing was just last week, just not even a full week ago yet, you were in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, at the Chrysler Carlisle Nationals.
Yes, and you drove the General from Canada to there.
In the pouring rain the whole way.
And then got it nice and clean again.
Yep.
Put up this whole setup with the checkered flag. You got the mirrors to show underneath and just how clean it is. And just what a great car. And then you go home with your award.
Yep. First place, thank God.
First place, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and let's give the folks a look at that. It's just right here under the hood. There it is, 2024 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals, first place. Look at that. And then you drove it home.
Yep.
How many miles was that?
I'd have to Google that. I don't know. I just drive it. 600
at least
miles, I think.
At least.
Yeah.
And then you're here on what, Friday, July 19th, 2024 in Luray, Virginia.
Yeah, we drove right by Carlisle again, all the way a few more hours down here again.
What'd you go back to Canada for?
I had to work.
Oh, okay.
Somebody has to work.
Somebody has to work.
I begged her. I said, for the amount of gas this goes through, we could pay for a motel room for a few days, but no, she had to work.
I had to go back to work.
You two get the Road Warrior Award, that's for sure.
Thanks.
That's for sure.
Put a lot of miles on.
Yeah, so, and you know what? And there's somebody out there, whoever they are, I'm going to call them a dork, they're thinking, well, how many miles per gallon does it get? Well, the bottom line is, when you're a car guy and a car gal, we don't measure in miles per gallon, we measure in smiles per gallon.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me, how did you get this car looking this good?
Well, it was a pretty nice car 20 years ago when I got it, but it has, you know, some imperfections, and we made it a General Lee, and it was still a nice General. And then about 5 years ago, I just went and fully rotisserie it, stripped. I was going to actually restore it back to original, but then I couldn't. It had to be a General again.
Hey, I mean, once a Dodge Charger is a General Lee, I mean,
yeah.
For all you guys that don't like General Lees, and there's like 6 of you in the world, you won't understand, but the rest of us do.
But I did my best to keep it pure Mopar the best I could, because I realized a few of the earlier Generals were Hemi orange, so we did Hemi orange over a white primer, so it pops a little bit more.
And it does pop. I mean, gosh, I'm going to back up here and get a full shot here of this. It a 3/4 angle, so to speak.
And even the interior, we chose to do the factory saddle tan because we know some of them were like Lee 1 was, Lee 3 was, and the 4th General Lee, I call it Lee 4, it had saddle tan because it used Lee 1's interior.
Okay.
So we chose saddle tan.
Well, let's walk over there and look at that interior.
We chose saddle tan because it's Chrysler factory correct, and it was also correct to the show.
It's beautiful. You gonna open the door? Oh.
Yeah,
the general's door is open. How many times you heard that in your life?
Too numerous.
Man.
The only non-Duke to sign this car is actually Richard Petty.
Oh.
But he was mentioned so many times, and
he drove that Richard Petty car that was in the tire commercial.
Yes.
That was originally Lee 1, but...
So I don't think anyone would scrutinize me for having Richard Petty's name and signature in my car.
Definitely not. And I'll tell you what, I had the honor of having his son Kyle on my show a couple months ago. He was in Bettendorf, Iowa for the Kyle Petty charity ride. So I got to talk to him, and Richard was there. He was driving a trike, Harley.
Yeah.
Got him on camera driving by me, but I did not get to talk to Richard because there was just so many people.
He's such a nice guy, though.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. Let's look at the...
Yeah, like most people who own General Lees, we've got all signatures.
You sure do.
My little bragging right is every signature has been on the car. I don't just take a trunk lid off. I drive it to the shows. One of my favorite stories, too long, but it was when Roscoe actually signed it.
What year did you get Roscoe to do that?
2010 at Chrysler Nationals again in Carlisle.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of these people sadly have passed away, like Roscoe's gone and Sheriff Little's gone. But,
yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna maybe get a couple more today. Daisy stunt double there. Kay, is it
nice.
And Huey Hogg.
Yeah, won't that be fun?
Yeah.
Jeff Alton is here.
Yeah, he's a nice guy too.
Yeah.
So,
well, Corey-Lin.
Yes.
I am fortunate in my life to have a special lady, Andrea, who puts up with my disease of Dukes of Hazzardness, and you seem to either put up or have as
much. I actually really enjoy it. It's something that's totally new to me. Mike and I have been together for 8 years, so I was not a car person until I met Mike, and I mean, I definitely love it and enjoy it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So
that is awesome. That's
putting up with it. It's not an issue.
It's something you get to do together.
Yeah,
and
we love it. Yes, you do. And that's okay. You can have it. Yeah. No, I really enjoy the car rides. I mean, even when we're back home in Canada, we take the cars out and we tour around, and yeah, it's our thing.
Well, I've got my own General Lee as well, and I've got friends, obviously, that have General Lees. And one of my buddies, when he was first thinking about getting a General, or shortly after he got the General, his General, I told him, I said, if you're in a bad mood, first of all, you should never be in a bad mood when you're driving the General Lee.
No.
I mean, if you are, you just get in the car, drive, you're going to have a smile on your face instantly. But if you're in such a bad mood that you're in your car and you don't have time to talk about that car or have pictures taken of that car, then don't take it out of the garage, because that's not fair to the people that love the Dukes of Hazzard.
No, it wouldn't do it justice.
Right, and
yeah, just driving around in the car, even on long trips down here, what it does for other people, like the smiles and and the pictures, and it's just, yeah, it's very heartwarming.
Yeah, it's like this for most of these people. We don't have the cars, so we get attention. We love the smiles it puts on everybody's faces.
And it really does, and it's because of the greatness, the wholesomeness of that program.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 45 years when they first did the first episode. You know, that year in time now, we could all say January 26, 1979, but I won't be that nerdy. Whoops, I was.
Even young and old, there's always somebody in the whole, category of ages that they recognize it and know something about it.
And it's, I mean, it's standing the test of time. And, we're all only here for a short time. And you mentioned that some of the stars have passed that have signed.
Yeah.
But we're so blessed today to have the stars that we have here and the folks behind the scenes that made it all possible. And it's a wonderful thing. I'm really proud that I get to document this and keep it. And as long as there's those interwebs, country and Western, we should be able to see these videos for years and years to come. But it's just a glorious time. And I'm real proud that you guys took the time. You drove all the way from Canada and brought this award-winning General Lee.
Well, we've actually driven this car from Canada to Tennessee. Well, that's where we met years ago.
Yeah.
And usually towing a trailer with motorcycles on it. And not anymore. But then we also drove this car all the way to Covington, Georgia, where they filmed the first 5 episodes. And that was great visiting all the locations. Still look almost the same. We got to go into the Boar's Nest too, inside the Boar's Nest.
That doesn't happen for many people. Because that's a church now, isn't it?
And the minister there, he was so great. And he said, here, let me move this ugly van out of the way for you. And he let us come in the church. And
that is awesome. That is awesome. Probably looks a little bit different than the first 5 episodes, right? Yeah. Now, I want to ask you
the outside looks exactly the same, other than it has a cross on it now.
Yeah. You know, Boss Hogg probably would have put that on there at some point. You never know.
Oh, maybe he would have.
You never know. Well, I know your time is valuable, and you really appreciate you guys giving me your time. I want to ask you one more question. You've been a Dukes fan since you were a kid, obviously.
Oh, yes.
What about the Dukes of Hazzard has brought you still to this day in 2024 driving your own General Lee?
Well, that kind of evolves when you're a kid. When you're a kid, it's all about the car. And then as you're a teenager, it's kind of about Daisy, but never forget about the car. Mm-hmm. For me, though, as I got a little bit older, it was actually Roscoe.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He would have me in stitches laughing. And I still to this day, and when I met him one time, he wanted me to share one of his funny things. And it's one of my favorite stories. He said to me, "What was your favorite line that I said?" And I said, "Well, you and Enos were in the police station, and you said, 'Enos, go fetch me a coffee.' And Enos said, 'How do you take your coffee?' And I said to James Bass, myself, I said, 'You said, in a cup, jackass. How else do you take your coffee?'" I laughed so hard, and then James was laughing. He said he totally, that wasn't in the script at all. He ad-libbed that whole thing, and it was all everybody can do to not burst out laughing. They got through that. And then he was so impressed that I remembered that. He came outside and signed the car in person. I didn't have to take my trunk lid off like everybody else.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I'll tell you what, between James Best and Sorrel Book, they were a comedy duo that should have been recognized more. They should have received an Emmy.
Yes.
They should have been nominated and received an Emmy for their comedy work on the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're sadly missed.
Yes. Well, thank you, my friends from the north up there in Canada. And I'll tell you, I was just in Canada in April. I was in Moncton, New Brunswick.
Oh, to watch Raymond Kahn do
Yep, watch Raymond Kahn do his jump. Nice. And really enjoyed your country while I was there. Great. And a lot of good people up there.
We'll come up anytime.
I might. I got a passport. I got to use it for something.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Come visit us.
Will do. Thank you both. Thanks to Mike and Corey-Lin for being on the program today, and thank you for watching. And if you like these kinds of programs and podcasts, make sure to give this episode a like, and make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast. It's free. I also want to thank our sponsors: Griner Auto Body, Car Doctor, McDonald Boneyard, Hinshaw Trailer Sales, Girling Repair, B&B Propane, and the family of Jet Stops, and Blue Dog Lawn Care. I'm your host, on the road, from the road, John Bain. Stay friendly, Southeast Iowa.